Nice little morning walk up Dunkerry Beacon this morning. We've come early enough so that there's still a little bit of mist down in the valleys where we start off, but I can just see up on the top here the blue sky starting to come through. So I reckon by the time we've got up to the top it'll just be lovely. You get a fantastic view from the top here. You know, the rolling hills and valleys of North Devon. Oh, here comes the sun. Absolutely lovely. See you in a bit. You know, the British have a legend about the wizard Merlin. You know, the same Merlin that you hear in the Arthurian stories. But before Mallory wrote about, you know, Arthur and Camelot and Merlin and sort of fixated us on the modern version of that story, you know, the ancient British had a legend that the wizard Merlin had taken a stone circle from Wales and magically transported it into England. And I was reading in the paper last week, I think, that they've discovered that Stonehenge was in fact originally from Wales. You know, the stones from Stonehenge were quarried in Wales, and there's some evidence that it was actually moved from Wales, you know, several thousand years ago. And when you're in a place like this and you see some signs of old habitation or farmland or an ancient hedgerow or a dike or something, I always feel that there's somehow more connected to the people of the past. You know, there's no reason to feel more connected here maybe than in the valleys, you know, because when the valleys is all the farmland and where the flocks would have been, so they're more likely to have spent their time down there than up on the, you know, the blasted heath, as Shakespeare put it. But I don't know, there's something about mountains and wilderness spaces that just certainly make me feel more connected to the people that came before us. It's lovely. When me and my sister were kids, we had an annual holiday up in North Wales, Llandudno and Snowdonia, places like this. And I guess I very grudgingly accepted, you know, these treks up these mountains that I couldn't pronounce. But it did give me some sort of, you know, abiding love for these sorts of places. And wherever we've lived, you know, around the world, when it was Qingdao, we had the Fushan mountain. You know, when we were in Israel for the past 2 years, we could hike in the Golan or up Mount Arbor over the Sea of Galilee. You know, and even down in the desert, in the Judean desert, we had Mitzpah Ramon and the crater there, and all these places. The sort of love of walking and camping and hiking and just exploring under your own steam is something that I think I'm grateful to my parents for. I don't suppose they'll ever watch this video, but you know, those first steps when they took us up. And one of the things that's lovely is I remember, you know, in Llandudno, fishing for crabs off the pier there. And a few years ago I took my kids up to Snowdonia, and the express intention was to climb Snowdon together and to fish off the Llandudno pier, well, the Llandudno jetty, you know, where I went crabbing, where my dad went crabbing, where he went crabbing with his father. And so in the end we've had 4 generations of us, you know, crabbing off that little jetty in Llandudno. And it's such a special thing. You know, these are the memories that you just make with your kids, and hopefully they stay with them. Who knows, in a few years maybe another generation of Gradwells from my girls will be up there in Llandudno, climbing Snowdon, taking the pictures at the top, you know, talking about when they came there with their dad. Who knows, it'll be nice. You can see the sun's burning off the mist nicely now. I'm amazed that there's no one else up here. You know, considering the state of lockdown, you know, the number of people who were here I'd have thought they'd come out for the allowable exercise, but maybe not. Maybe it's too early. It is a Sunday morning after all. There you go. In the east you've still got all the mist down in the valley. Just had a lovely moment when we were coming up here when he heard a rushing sound like water off to the right, and when we looked it was a flock of birds. I don't know what they were, but you know, a flock of birds just took off out of the heath here, or the moor. There's a mountain biker on the crest and he was just riding through and I think startled them, and they took off and you could just hear this whispering, rushing. It's so quiet here that you could actually hear the sound of their wings as they headed off over there. It was lovely. Here we are, just approaching the top, and luckily the sun is just about to burn off the mist. So I think up there somewhere you can just see the rock pile that marks the top of Dunkerry Beacon. Hey sister! Oh, still a bit chilly with the wind, right? Scooby! Come and say hello, Scooby Dog. Well, here we are, back down at the bottom. The mist has never quite managed to burn off. It's actually quite chilly now, it's about 4 degrees. But a lovely little walk, just absolutely fantastic. See, back up the top you can see now the top of the beacon is completely hidden in mist, so I guess that's it for the rest of the day on the weather. But lovely, a real blowing away of the cobwebs in the morning.